gratitude. So let me express my gratitude to Kate for the talk she did last week.
Yay.
Unfortunately, she did such a great job, there's nothing left to talk about. So for the next 20 minutes, we'll just stare. No, I'm sorry. But I did have a bit of a hard time coming up with a new twist. But you know me, I find a way to twist.
Okay.
So, the topic for this Sunday is blessings as gratitude. Blessings as gratitude. The outline was submitted by Reverend Steph St. Amand, Spiritual Director, CSL, West Kootenai. Anybody know where West Kootenai is?
Is it Canada?
East of,
I was
just
thinking
east of
Alaska.
East Kootenai?
I looked it up. Montana.
Oh, well, that's close enough.
I don't know what town it's near to, but
Those
it's
names up
West Kootenai, Montana.
Probably way in the north.
The book of the month, I think Kate mentioned it or not, I'm not sure. The Gentle Art of Blessing by Pierre Praterbond. I'm not sure where Pierre is from. But let's get into a little more deeper exploration of gratitude. Ernest Holmes had this to say in Science of Mind. Gratitude is one of the chief graces of human existence and is crowned in heaven with a consciousness of unity. Now, let me read that again, it's short. Gratitude is one of the chief graces of human existence and is crowned in heaven with a consciousness of unity. Wow. I'll take that consciousness of unity right now. Oh, okay, got it, thanks. Here's another short little quote from Meister Eckhart. Some of you may be familiar with Meister Eckhart, German mystic and theologian in the 1260 to 1320 era. He was later brought before the Pope on charges of heresy because he was a mystic and advanced theologian who maybe thought outside the precepts of the church at the time. This is what he had to say. If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. Thank you. Thank you, Meister Eckhart. Think about that. That's the only prayer. It will be enough. If you say it in a prayerful consciousness. So why? Why is it important to have gratitude in our lives? What would you happen if you didn't have or express gratitude? And we need to express it to those we care about, to all the important people in our lives. Thank you, 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 thank you. Without gratitude, life can be lonely, depressing, and impoverished. Gratitude enriches human life. It elevates, energizes, inspires, and transforms. And those who practice it experience significant improvements in several areas of their life, including relationships, academics, energy levels, and even dealing with tragedy and crisis. That's from Dr. Robert Emmons, who's a professor of psychology at Cal. Now, I want to share a little video. And since technology loves me, we know this will work perfectly.
No, I didn't do yesterday. Yeah, no, I'm gonna. Mom, no, I didn't do yesterday. I'm not gonna see, so. Alright, Mom, 2 hours on a train. I have to go. Yeah, no, I'm gonna. Mom, I'm not gonna see, so. Alright, Mom, I have to go. Which one?
Can you just hang on 1 minute? This is expensive. Can you just hang on 1 minute? This is expensive.
Hey, can you just hold me to go? I'm just trying to sleep. I just got ready to get inside just Hey, can you just hold me to go? I'm just trying to sleep. I just got ready to get inside just
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. We are now crossing a zone of turbulence. Please return to your seats and keep your seatbelts fastened. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. We are now crossing a zone of turbulence. Please return to your seats and keep your seatbelts fastened. Thank you. Prepare for a crash landing.
This is a tough message to hear, but let me explain. What if we wake up tomorrow and only we're grateful for today? What would we have left? This is a tough message to hear. This should put it. Let me explain. It's so what if we woke up tomorrow with a daily basis? We're grateful. If you want to find a reason to get annoyed, we have left. If you want to find a reason to complain about someone, it's so easy to get worked up. If you want to see something get on your nerves, if you want to find a reason, there are countless opportunities to. If you want to find a reason to frustrated, about disappointed, you will annoyed. If you want to see something get on your nerves, you will. There are countless opportunities to. We don't see our lives as frustrated, disappointed, our lives or annoyed at people. We shouldn't waste a second of our life complaining. The challenge is we don't see our lives as they are. Whenever we complain about pain or a strain or we shouldn't waste a second of our life complaining ourselves. Complaining doesn't solve and complaining is contagious. Whenever we complain about everyone else strain or any situation surrounded by we're stopping ourselves culture change. And we all know this is contagious. When we do it, we give it to everyone else around us, which means now we're surrounded by a complaining culture. And we all know this. Spending today complaining about yesterday won't make tomorrow any better. When we complain about our family, it's so important to remember that there's someone out there who just lost their parents. When we complain about our jobs, it's so important to recognize that someone out there just lost theirs. When we complain about college or university or school, it's important to remember there are millions of children without access to education. If today was the last day of your life, how would you change the way you speak? If today was the last day of your life, how would you change the way you think? If today was the last day of your life, how would you change the way you behave? How would you change the way you connect with the people closest to you? How do you change the way you interact with anyone that you meet or see? You never know when the last thing you said is going to be the last time that that person hears your voice. Are you happy with the last thing you said to a loved one? Are you happy with the last thing you thought about them? Are you happy with the last way you behaved with someone in your life? Go 24 hours without complaining and see how your life changes. The secret to having it all is knowing you already do. And remember, be careful what you say to someone today, because you may not have tomorrow to take it back.
Good thing technology loves me. Sorry about that override, I'm still not sure why we heard two soundtracks there. That leave an impact on anybody?
Yeah.
Do you notice every single thing about what he said in that video follows our teaching? If you're not familiar with Jay Shetty, he's got dozens, if not hundreds, of little videos like this. So I want to follow up on some of his thoughts. You probably already knew it's very easy to get annoyed with people, things, events in your life. It's so easy to complain. And complaining attracts more what? More of what we're complaining about. Now, I don't believe my dad read any science of mine, but he knew that principle. Complaining attracts more. Because we'd be frequently driving down the road, and he'd say, if you don't stop it, I'll come back there and give you something to complain about. So complaining attracted more complaining. Dad was a wise man. If you get frustrated with the people, places, things, you get more frustrating people, places, and things. That's the way the universal law works. Our greatest challenge then is to assess our own lives. We get evidence of what we are attracting. And we often, very often, see ourselves in situations that are way better than we believe they are. We always find the worst in every episode, every incident. We too often focus only on the negative. So let me tell you how to deal with that focus on the negative. Stop it! Stop it! One more time. Stop it! Got it. Stop focusing on the negative. Start paying attention to the blessings in your life. If you want to change your life, change the way you think about your life. What do you focus on? Whatever you focus on is what you attract. It is that simple. Complaining doesn't solve problems. It attracts problems. Complaining is contagious. You can come into a group of positive people like this, and if you start a complaining pity party, we'll all jump right in. It's human nature. But if you come into the same room and you share good news, we all start sharing good news. It's contagious. What do you have to complain about anyway? Your family? Tell that to those who have no one. He talked about these things on the video. There are so many people who have no one to share their grief, their joy, their blessings. Complain about your job, your boss. Tell that to someone who can't find a job, can't find a career. Tell that to those who work 12, 14-hour days in sweat lodges, not sweat lodges, sweat factories.
I know where your head is.
Tell that to 10-year-old kids, girls, who work 12-hour, 14-hour days. Look at it in a new way. Find the blessing. Complain about your school, your education. Oh my God, I'm taking 5 classes. What was I thinking? I'm taking 5 classes, woohoo! There's a different way to look at it. If you're complaining about your education, tell that to kids who have none. 40 kids in a little dirt floor school that have one book that they share among them. No computers, no Wi-Fi, nothing digital. We have blessings beyond belief. If you knew today was the last day you would spend here on this lifetime, in this planet, how would you change? Would you? Could you change the way you think for an entire day, your last day? Could you do it? I'm pretty sure if you knew, you'd be pretty highly motivated. You would make those changes. Could you change the way you treat people? We treat ourselves as this little community. We treat ourselves beautifully. But what do we do when we're outside this sacred space? How do we treat people? How do we recognize people? If you knew today was the last day, how would you change the way you look at the blessings in your life that tomorrow you wouldn't be experiencing? We believe you'd experience something better, but how would you feel about those blessings today? Could you spend that last day of your life in utter gratitude for the experiences, the people, the opportunities, the blessings that you had in this life? Here is the bedrock issue of our teaching. Change your thinking, change your life. It is so simple, and it is for us where the rubber meets the road. We can talk about spiritual principles till the cows come home. But it's up to you to change your thinking to have a better life. You have the power. If there's something, someone in your life that you aren't enjoying, change your thinking about it. Whether it's a person, place, or thing. Move to gratitude for that experience. The worst boss I ever had in corporate America was one of the greatest teachers I ever had in corporate America. And I had to move to a place of gratitude that that man was in my life. And guess what? Then he left the company. And before he left, I went and said how much I'd learned from him and how much I appreciated him. And thank God, because 2 years later he came back. But it was sincere on my part. And when he came back, we had a much better relationship. Gratitude has the power to heal, much like love. It is a form of love. Meditation, love, gratitude. It's all part of the spiritual mind treatment. When you're in some sort of sticky situation that you're not comfortable, the sooner you can find something in that situation to be grateful for, the quicker you're going to become more comfortable. the entire situation can transform in an instant. My daughter told us she starts teaching, school's in tomorrow, and she's in a new school, sharing a classroom with a woman she'd never met prior to last week. And it started out rough, really rough. And I'm sure both of them were thinking, oh my God, I got a year of this person. You know, they hoisted this off on us. We didn't get to choose working with each other. And then my daughter saw her somewhere in the school environment loading up a whole bunch of heavy books, and she went and helped her. And everything flipped. They both felt instant release, relief. Any tension they had about the next year was gone. Oh, she's a nice person. She's helpful. Whew. Gratitude changes the situation immediately. Gratitude shifts your focus. Blessing the moment with gratitude shifts your focus. It allows you to be more present in whatever situation you're in, to bring about a positive shift in your consciousness. And that changes everything. From the book of the month, Pierre Praderbond, it is impossible to bless and judge at the same time. Think about that. So he goes on. So hold constantly as a deep, hallowed, intoned thought that desire to bless. For truly then you become a peacemaker. And one day you shall everywhere behold the very face of God. Just as I see the face of God here, living in gratitude enables you to see, to change that focus. Kate talked last week about the benefits of gratitude. It improves the quality of your life, makes you happier, reduces stress and anxiety, helps you sleep, creates peace of mind. And these are chemical processes that occur within your body, within your brain. There's no doubt about it. Neuroscience has documented all of this. It strengthens and enhances your faith, gives you peace of mind. It empowers you to be the person, a better version of yourself, and to reach new levels. There's nothing you can't experience through living in gratitude. In living the science of mind, Dr. Holmes says, our thought does not go out to influence persons or things. What it does is readjust our own consciousness, our own thinking, to include a larger and more harmonious field of action. We learn that when we get our own consciousness straightened out, things in our external world adjust themselves to meet our new and better inward awareness. I like that. Here's a quote from Dennis Waitley, who I know absolutely nothing about. Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, worn, or consumed. Now think about that. Happiness cannot be traveled to, worn, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. Gratitude improves our heart-to-heart connection. When we're in gratitude, our energy shifts, And every other person who is one with that same energy that we are recognizes it instantly. And we shift. As Mother Teresa once said, we belong to each other. Wow. The best I can be for you is a happy, gracious person living in gratitude. That's the best gift I can give of myself. In Science of Mind, we believe there's only one divine presence, which we are inseparable from. Living from a place of recognition, within that unity, we all do for ourselves, everything we do for ourselves, we do for humanity. And everything we do for humanity, we do for ourselves. We can change any story simply by finding the one thing that blessed our lives with something to be grateful for. The universe is for my good. Now, each of you can say that. The universe is for my good. Using this law to initiate or ignite a positive vibration towards one another can only bring about more good. As always, I have many, many, many quotes to share, some of which won't make the air today. To bless means to wish, unconditionally, totally, unrestricted good for others. From the deepest wellspring, in the innermost of your heart. Means to hallow, to hold in reverence, to behold with utter awe that which is always a gift from the Creator. That's from Pierre. So, in summary, bless each day with gratitude, from start to finish, for every breath you take, for every situation you're in, for the teachers, and for those infuriators in your lives, for the kind and the unkind, for we're all one. Bless the people you work with. Bless the supervisor that is contentious. Bless them. And frequently they move on. And if they come back, they're a better version. Pay attention to how your day shifts and changes when you are focused on gratitude and blessings for you and others. Bless those you feel have wronged you. That's pretty much a message Jesus brought in the New Testament. Bless yourself for who you are. Trust that you are, who you need to be, what you're becoming, and count your blessings. Namaste.